Hey everybody, it's me again. It's Zen. I hope all is well. Happy Libra season to everyone. Um, I decided to actually just record as I'm sitting here on this bench. Um, I have been feeling kind of lazy lately to do my usual routine of like going out to a further park and finding a bench and setting up a tripod. I actually just didn't feel like doing all of that, and I'm like, that's no excuse to neglect my vlog, right? So I should keep going. And I actually wanted to talk about forgiveness today, just to jump right into it. I'm going to talk about forgiveness. I feel like there's a lot of misconception still around the word forgiveness, and um, I'm used to people at this point in my life. I'm used to being misunderstood and misconstrued often, um, and I think some people might be a little bit curious. I feel like people are shy about asking me certain things that they could actually just ask me. I'm one of those people that's pegged very mysterious, while at the same time, people don't ask me things. People don't ask me things, and the few times that I've opened myself up to be asked questions, it's like it's nothing deep. To be honest with you, it's part of the reason why I went ahead and just started doing the vlog, right? So I'm like, I can share generally as opposed to individually and not be disappointed. So anyway, so yeah, this word forgive and why it's actually easy for me to forgive, and why I literally don't see anyone as my enemy. Um, I feel like part of the misconception is the give part. Is the give part. We feel like, and truth is, I tend to use the term backstabbing a lot, just because it's easy. I tend to just use one scenario for example, but that's not obviously, you know, it can be applicable to any situation. And so, like, say I'm feeling, backstabbed, and actually, I shared a quote, right? I shared a quote. I made a meme a little while ago, and it says, I'm not even going to quote myself perfectly right now, but it says something like, I pre-forgive at the beginning of every new experience, and if it didn't work out, it wasn't meant to. We did the best we knew at the time. We did the best we knew. We did the best we did the best we knew how at the time, right? Early in my, like, going further and deeper into like being a healer and researching and learning about peace, and that was my main goal. And at the beginning of all of this, as when I was younger, I had a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety. I was battling with depression for most of my life, to be honest with you. And this is before discovering that I'm trans. I didn't understand that I was trans, and then there was the dysphoria and all of that. Before all of that, I just knew that something just wasn't right, and I just wanted peace. And so the topic of discussion, really, this topic for me, the main goal for me was peace. Peace within my heart, and a clear mind. Like, that was the main goal. And so, and it seems like it might feel like I'm changing the subject, but I'm really not. It's like there's so many things that are connected, and I feel like we oversimplify in some things, and I feel like in some ways we oversimplify things in a way that actually overcomplicates things. If that makes sense. Another thing I like to say is that, like, life is complex. Life is complex. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? It's simply complex. It doesn't have to be complicated. And so I feel like the misconception is that word give. Someone backstab me, I'm gonna forgive them. That's me saying that it's okay. No, like, I don't know how many different ways, all the healers and life coaches and have said that that's not what forgiveness is. That's not what it is. Think of the term forgo. Think of the term forgo. Forgo means to decline, right? I forgo. Hey, do you want this job? Oh, I forgoed it. I forgo it. You're declining it. It's declining. four also coincides with the word before, like before. And so one of the things one of the things that clicked for me when I was younger is, okay, I was realizing that a part of my chatter was my shoulda, coulda, woulda problem. I shoulda did this, I coulda did that, I shoulda did this, I coulda did that. My father had a shoulda, coulda, woulda thing, and he used to do it to me. Dang, I shouldn't have let you do that. You shouldn't have did that. Maybe we couldn't have did that. To me, that shoulda, coulda, woulda is living in the past and constantly trying to fix the past in order to feel better about the present. And in reality, you can't go back. You can't go back and change it. And so I said, well, people are going to do what they do. People are going to be who they are. And that doesn't have to be about me. And so I said, what if I pre-forgive? What if I just pre-forgive everyone for whatever it is they're going to do and save myself the trouble down the line? To be honest, it was a little bit out of laziness, a little bit out of just wanting peace. The other part is recognizing, I'm sorry, I'm going to pause there. There's people walking by. So anyway, and so a large part of it is also forgiving myself, right? And so it was like, how do I get more present? How do I get more present? I can't get present if I'm constantly saying to myself, I should have did this, and I could have did this, and I should have did this, and I could have did that. And so really that forgiveness kind of started with me. I started by forgiving myself. And if I can forgive myself, I can forgive everyone else, right? Maybe backstabbing is all they know. Maybe lying is all they know. Maybe stealing is how that person has survived up to this point. And part of what's connected to this, what we call a victim mentality, like why me? Why do they do that to me? Why are they trying to attack me? Why do me? Some of that is ego. Why not you, right? If that person is living a life of lying, cheating, and stealing, and you cross paths, why do you get to be the exception? Why do you get the person that they don't lie to and steal from, if that's what they've been doing up to this point? And so sometimes we actually are in our ego when we're saying, well, why me? Why did they do it to me? Why shouldn't I have been the exception? Why do I get to be the exception? Right? And so realistically, I don't always get to be the exception. You don't always get to be the exception. And the other flip side to that is on me as an adult to learn how to better vet people. Right? It's up to me. Now, yes, there are a lot of circumstances where some crap is just really completely out of your control. I've definitely been in situations where people are taking things from me I didn't even know I had. And I think especially folks who are in their ego, people who are narcissistic, they see my willingness to forgive easily as a weakness, and I think it sometimes sees me as a target of somebody to like go for it. Like, oh, they're a sucker. They'll forgive me. I'm gonna do this thing to them. They'll forgive me because they're so sweet. No, you are definitely forgiven. It's not forgotten, and it doesn't mean we get to be friends anymore. I'm foregoing the resentment. I'm not gonna hang on to resentment because of how someone else decided to show up in the world. How is that good for me? And so that's why I came up with that quote for myself. It's like, what if I pre-forgive? Because I'm thinking back. Sometimes I think back to these notions me having these notions in my 20s, and I'm like, wow, I must have been kind of a mature. Maybe I was a lot more mature than I even gave myself credit for. I'm very childlike, and so I feel like that sometimes is misconstrued as immaturity. It's like, no. Jim Carrey is one of my favorite people. Jim Carrey is one of my, celebrities that I look up to, to an extent. I never pretend to actually know these people personally. I allow the character to just be the character, and I, learn from the character. That is the character that I see on screen. It's very childlike and very mature at the same time. Why? Because really, at the end of the day, like I said, I started off from a point of wanting to heal, wanting inner peace, wanting to be more flowing in my creativity and creative expression, right? And that's allowing the inner child to play, allowing the inner child to live, allowing the inner child to explore. Is a large part of allowing creative expression to flow, and it's up to me to protect that child. It's up to me as the adult to learn how to better vet people, and oftentimes when we have certain experiences, it's to teach you what not to do next time. And so oftentimes, as a tarot reader, as a healer, people come to me, situations like this happened and that happened and that happened and this happened, and I often say, well, what did you learn? Did you learn your lesson? It's really important. Did you learn your lesson? Because if you don't learn your lesson from that one time, you might actually, when you find yourself having certain experiences over and over again, it's usually because you didn't learn something. And it's usually, obviously, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe it doesn't apply to every situation. And I trust that when I put these videos out, that those who resonate with me are those who's going to find the video. Because like attracts like. So the point, the goal for me every day is to maintain my peace, to keep my vibration high. Resentment lowers your vibration. Why would I hang on to that? Because of what you did. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of folks will use that will use that to lower your vibration. If I see you're the kind of person that have a hard time letting things go, and then if I'm narcissistic enough, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do something to that person, and if I want to lower your vibration, I'm gonna come do something stupid to you. And because maybe I've seen that you have you're a vengeful type of person. I see you're the kind of person that have a hard time letting things go, and I just keep throwing stuff at you because I think it's funny, because I'm a narcissist, because I'm a bully, right? So you get what I'm saying? And so release it. What can I do with that? As an artist, I feel like one of the beautiful things about art is art is a great way to turn pain into, I think Kevin Hart had a special he called Laugh at My Pain, right? He took these painful experiences, made it a part of a comedy special that made millions of dollars, right? That is transmuting pain. The thing happened. Whatever happened. I can't go back and make it not happen. And then maybe how would I be different if it didn't? I'm actually very grateful for I'm grateful for the hardships. I'm grateful for having learned my lesson of learning how to not be too nice. I definitely was too nice. There were ways in which I was still being too nice, even when I thought I wasn't being too nice. Right? What I think about sometimes, you ever see those movies when you have there's this professional con artist who just constantly keeps breaking into these banks, right? And then this again, this is a movie scenario, and like the CIA catches them, and it says, hey, and we could send you away. We can send you to prison forever, or you can earn a reduced sentence by working for us and showing us the cracks so that we can fix our security systems. So then the person who's an expert at cracking into banks is also in a way a security expert. So that person is showing you, that person that keeps cracking in to your energy, so to speak, keeps showing you where you need to tweak your security. And do it. Do it. Actually do it. If you have a habit of constantly leaving your back door open, why get mad that people keep wandering into your back door? Get a lock. Lock the door. Maybe that's God's way of telling you to lock the door. I remember something happened. This is a great example. It's an okay example, maybe. Chris Brown. I remember this is Chris Brown's situation back in the day. And again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying that I am a huge fan of any of these celebrities. Celebrities are just easy to use for examples because most of the time you'll know who I'm talking about. And I remember one time, and I saw it coming. I remember there was one time where there was a fan. A fan had broke into his house, and I think there was this young lady had broke into his house. And I think she put up a banner or something that said, like, I love Chris Brown. And she was, like, sitting on the stairs waiting for him to come home. And in my mind, I was like, something's going to happen. Another thing's about to happen. I just had a feeling because I feel like that was just, like, the cover for what the thieves were trying to do. And I kid you not, and maybe you remember this, right? Maybe, like, a month later, there was another break-in where people actually managed to steal a bunch of stuff. And I was like, that wasn't a crazed fan. Like, she was probably part of the thieves' crews. She was part of the crew of thieves to try and figure out ways to get in. And then, she could just sit there and you go, oh, it was just a crazed fan. And, they kick her out and it's like, get out of here, crazed fan, silly girl. And then their hope is that you won't think anything of it, right? And so she probably report back to how she got in, and she probably report back to like what different things she saw when she was in there. She probably looked for the security cameras. She probably looked for, she was scoping out the place, obviously, right? Because about a month later, 2 months later, I forget, it's a couple weeks later, there was another break-in where things actually got stolen, right? And so the clever thing he could have did when that crazed fan broke in is he really should have kind of held on to her and said, like, how did you do that? How did you get in here? Right? Or go back to your surveillance camera and see what it is exactly she did. Because that was a red flag. To me, I knew it. I was like, something else is about to happen. I'm like, that wasn't it. Like, that wasn't it. There's no way she broke in there just to sit there, just to put up an I love Chris Brown banner and in hopes that, and sit there wait for him to come home. Like, come on, it's obviously more to it than that, right? So sometimes, right? Sometimes God red flag is the little thing that got in, so that you can tweak, so that you can be prepared for when someone really tries you. And like, what does this have to do with forgiveness, right? I kind of feel like I went off on a tangent a little bit, maybe not, I don't know. What does it have to do with forgiveness? It's like the little transgression was supposed to show you something about yourself. There's another saying that's like, you won the battle, but you haven't won the war, right? So sometimes these small battles come into your life to prepare you for a greater war. And so these little transgressions that I've experienced, right? I've been lied on, I've been misunderstood, I've been ignored and downplayed. Luckily, right, I started my healing journey before any of that happened. And something told me, like, this isn't it. Like, okay, that thing is happening right now, but this isn't the thing. This is the thing that's preparing me for something else. right? And I'm patient, right? And long story short, life did show me that there was this, like this, the way people was getting into these little cracks, show it, it, it was alerting me that I had like this larger crack somewhere. There was this larger thing that I wasn't quite seeing, and allowed me to see it. It prepared me, the smaller battles prepared me for this bigger war. And so, is my life all better now? No. Things aren't exactly where I want it to be. Life isn't exactly what I want it to be. And I feel like sometimes people see me smiling, and I feel like there's a lot of questions, right? Why? How is this person still smiling? How is he still happy? How is he still? How is he not depressed after all these things we did to them? Why would I be upset that, again, I wasn't the exception? I was the exception. People lie, people steal, people backstab. Why would I take it personal that I didn't get to be an exception to that? What makes me think I get to be an exception to experiencing what a lot of other people experience? And in reality, so many people have experienced much worse. Not to compare, of course, but I've seen worse. And it taught me so much. I've learned so much about narcissism from dealing with narcissists. And now I can spot a narcissist way faster. Thank you for that education. You know what I'm saying? My mind is still clear, right? The other reason why I learned early is important to have a clear mind is so that I'm present. That's the other part. It's the other reason. This also goes along with why it's easy for me to forgive. Is okay. You know what? I won't skirt around the thing. Some things are obvious, right? Some of us are way more intuitive than people think we are. I'm pretty intuitive, and I have an inkling of something about to happen, or I'll meet someone and I have an inkling of things that they might be capable of. You ever talk to somebody and you're like, yeah, I can see that person being a good liar, and then later they do lie. You know what I'm saying? I really, and also realistically, I grew up in the hood. Like, I grew up around hustlers. I grew up around people in survival mode my whole life. And so maybe that's also where I get the attitude of like, why do I get to be the exception, right? And so one thing I like to encourage people to look up is something called nice guy syndrome. We have this nice guy syndrome. I'm a nice guy. I'm a good person. I don't deserve this. Nobody said you deserved it. You didn't. It was wrong. It was messed up. That person backstabbed you. That person lied on you. It was messed up. But what is you being a good person got to do with you getting to or not getting to experience people, life, humanity? It is how it is. There are honest people in the world. There are dishonest people in the world, right? And having those experiences with the dishonest people, it teaches you what the red flags are, so that as you move forward, you can catch it faster, right? And so I can feel good in that I learned the lesson. We come to earth to learn and grow. We come to earth to learn, to grow, to learn love, to learn to be loved, to learn to give love, to learn what love is. That's actually what we come to earth to do. All this extra stuff is just stuff. And so as long as you're doing what you came here to do, and you're learning and you're growing, your vibration will stay high. And you'll keep your peace. I'm at peace because I know I showed up. I did the best I could in a situation. And when the situation was becoming harmful, I left it. It is life. Um, yeah, and then there's the intuitive part. So yeah, some things I intuited happening. Um, for those intuitives out there, sometimes, and like it's funny thing like about being psychic, this idea of being psychic. People always assume that the point of being psychic is avoiding all the pitfalls and like avoiding all the harm, avoiding all the pain. It's like, no, that's not the point. No, that's not necessarily the point for your intuition. Yes, you can avoid a lot. You can definitely avoid a lot. Being in touch, being in tune with your intuition. However, it's about preparation. So sometimes spirit is showing you what's going to happen so that you're emotionally prepared. So that you're emotionally prepared for it, and so that you're actually even more able to be present for the happenings. I don't have to have all this emotional reaction to something I kind of know what's going to happen. You just don't have all the details. You know, spirit will give me a general idea. And then one thing I'm noticing too is a lot of talk around pattern recognition, how a lot of people have pattern recognition, right? It's very simple. We call it pattern recognition. Okay. You can call it intuition, but okay, pattern recognition, right? Everyone has a pattern. Everyone has habits. Everyone has a way that they are, in a way that, you know, and it's just, what do you want for your life? What do you want for yourself? Right? I want peace. I want happiness. I want fulfillment. I want joy. That was priority, right? I came and I said, God, yes, I do talk to God. I talk to my spirit guides. I want fulfillment. And I let go of what that fulfillment should look like. And so I head down this road, and it's like, this feels good. I'm going to go this way. And then when it starts to not feel so good, it's like, okay, I don't need to be going this way. Maybe I need to make a turn here. Maybe I make a left. Maybe I need to make a right. Never backwards. Don't go backwards. Keep going forward, but maybe you need to make a left here. Maybe you need to make a right here. Maybe you need to get out of your head. We get in our heads. I think if I have that job, I'll be fulfilled. I think if I have that money, I'll be fulfilled. I think if I have that person, I'll be fulfilled. Fulfillment requires you to feel some things. Everybody's thinking. We're not feeling anything, but we want fulfillment. We want what we want because of how it will make us feel, right? Did anybody watch The Law of Attraction when that came out? We want what we want because of how it would make us feel. And well, what is it you want to feel? Joy. Well, how do I cultivate joy where I'm at? How do I feel free now? That's one of the things I used to write on my wall a long time ago. I wrote that as feel free now. How do I feel free now? How do I free myself? In what ways can I feel more free now? Well, one thing I can do is I can sit and think about, or I can sit and process whatever resentment and anger I might have, because resentment steals your peace. It steals your joy. What am I resentful about? Well, let me process through that. Let me think about what happened. Not just think about what happened, but all right, maybe I even fall back into my habit of shoulda, coulda, woulda. I might shoulda, coulda, woulda for a second. It's like, well, it didn't happen that way. Talk back sometimes, learn to talk back to that voice that tries to make you feel bad about every damn thing, right? That chatter, that voice. Why is that voice so negative all the damn time? You ever ask yourself that? That mind chatter, oh, you're so terrible. Why are you're so lazy. You're so stupid. Why did I do that? Why is our chatter voice so negative? That voice is in your head, you can talk back to it. Talk back to that voice. You're so, that voice, oh my God, you're so stupid. It's like, whoa, voice. Whoa. Right? If some random person walk up to me and say, hey, you're stupid. Right? We're quick to get defensive when it comes to other people. Hey, you don't know me. But that chatter starts going. and we start thinking it's us, right? Now talk back to that voice too. Maybe that voice is a parent. Maybe this, like I said, I had a father who used to say, you should have did this, we could have did that, could have did this. And I love you, Dad. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. You're a great dad. We just butt heads on certain things, and I realized that I had picked up that habit. I should have did this. I could have did this. I should have did this. Like, whoa, 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 voice, whoa. First of all, I know where that habit came from. That habit came from my dad, right? He's very hard on himself. He's very hard on himself. Why? Because he's very caring. He cares. He's a very caring guy. He wanted everyone he loved to have everything they need. How could I not admire that? And so while on the surface it may look like we're butting heads, we had differences of opinion of ways to go about things, but beneath the surface, I don't feel like we were really in full disagreement at all, right? Like, he wants me to be happy. I want to be happy. We agree on something. And at the end of the day, it's my life, right? I have my own spiritual guidance to follow, and so I'm gonna follow that. These are some of the ways I feel like this forgiveness conversation is gonna segue into talking about clearing mind chatter, because it coincides. That voice, that chattery voice, can be very angry, can be very mean, right? Maybe it's not even a parent voice. Maybe it's, I don't know. I feel like the world, and we watch the internet, right? We were scrolling a lot. It's a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism. I feel like we internalize a lot of that. A lot of comparing happens. It's like, what have you decided? Like, what have you decided about yourself and about life before you picked up the phone? What have you decided about yourself and about life before you went out and socialized? What have you decided? So I decided before any of the happenings happened that I can pre-forgive. I made a decision. I can do that. I can pre-forgive, because you know what? I'm going to live a life. I'm going to live life. And stuff is going to happen. Everyone's not going to be good to me. And you know what? I don't have to let it, I don't have to add that to the list of problems I already have. I didn't say my life was perfect, right? I got regular people problems. I don't need to add resentment towards this person to the list of problems I already have, right? How is that putting money in my pocket? It's not. Let it go. Let it go. You did what you did. Maybe you're sorry, maybe you're not. The other part is, and maybe this is also part of me that maybe is still a little bit too nice too, because I don't want other people, how can I say this? Yeah, the flip side to it, like, so the transgressor, right? That person did whatever they did. I'm just going to assume that that's how you are, right? If you lied, cheated, you lied about me, stole from me, whatever, I'm just going to assume that that's how you are. And I'm just going to assume that that's also part of your list of your problems. Get what I'm saying? I'm not going to take it personal. And again, why do I get to be the exception? I don't get to be the exception. If that's how you've been living your life, okay. Maybe I made a wrong turn here. Maybe, maybe I didn't. Maybe I literally had the exact experience I was supposed to have. Because here I am having a conversation about it, right? If I had not had those experiences, I wouldn't feel so much more fortified in the decision that I made previously to pre-forgive, right? When these happenings were happening, I'm like, wow, thank God guided me to clearing my mind and pre-forgiving before any of these happenings, because here it is happening. I don't have to think about it in the moment. I don't have to dwell in the moment like, oh, am I going to forgive them? Am I not going to forgive them? The decision was made. Decision was made long before you. Right? 'Cause I don't want to live in the past. I want to move forward. Maybe it's an Aquarius thing too, right? Aquarians are naturally very forward thinking. If anything, Aquarius' problem, I feel like one of Aquarians' bad habits, actually we have a bad habit of probably thinking too much in the future. Our minds go further out in the future, and sometimes we're not that great at executing. Oh, I want to have this, I want to have that, I want to have this, I want to have that. Sometimes we have a bad habit of wishful thinking and not, being a little bit more grounded. And so actually, I feel like a lot of these, painful experiences that happen actually help to ground me a lot. I think it actually helped to ground me a lot. Think of, when it's like in TV and movies and stuff, right? When someone passes out and they say, are they dead? I don't know. Pinch them to find out, right? Pinch. So sometimes that pain that came into your life was a pinch to like wake you up a little bit. Where I didn't realize how dissociated I was. I was very dissociated. Up until I, actually, came into my truth and I started transitioning, and it's like I knew I was dissociated, which is why I was doing the healing stuff. But now that I'm a lot more on the ground, now my feet is on the ground, I realized, wow, I was very dissociated. I wasn't just a little dissociated, I was very dissociated. I can feel the difference. I know that I can feel the difference now that my feet's on the ground. That pain, those pinches helped wake me up and actually helped me to come more and more into the present. Right? Life happens. Oh, so yeah, what I was getting at. So about the other person, and I'm gonna just say this one last thing, and I try not to go over an hour when I do these things, but if, say, that other person, the transgressor, right, the person who's lied on you or stole from you, if that's the life they've been living, then they probably got a whole host of problems as a result of it, right? And they have some healing, some things that they need to learn. And for me, it's like, I'm okay with being one less thing for you to worry about, right? Because if you're living a life of lying, cheating, and stealing, then your problems didn't start with me. And if you continue lying, cheating, and stealing, your problems don't end with me either. I got caught in a crossfire. I healed. I move on. And so, I guess what I'm saying is that's part of the trauma bonding, right? I don't want to be trauma bonded to anyone. Right? So forgiveness is also a large part of cutting that cord. It's hard to keep a cord in me. It's hard to keep a cord in me because of what I pre-decided. Nope. I won't hold you up. If you got some healing to do, if you got some waking up to do, if you got some reintegrating to do, then go do that. Be inspired. Maybe you'll be inspired by my ability to forgive. Maybe you'll hate me forever. That's your problem. It doesn't have to be mine. Right? Whatever your problems are your problems. I have my own. My life is not perfect. I have my own problems. And so, right? I'm doing a process of elimination. When it comes to my problems, what can I cross off my list? What can I cross off my list easily? What are the things I can cross off my list? Right? I don't have a whole lot of money, but you know what? When you don't have money, you know what you got? It's time. And I feel like God does this for a reason. You know, few people I've talked to just like, oh, I just want the money. I just want the money. God knows you want the money. What are you telling me that for? I hope nobody thinks I'm going to be giving out money, because I'm not. Right? God knows. I've lived a life of having just enough money. But again, like I said, I went through those processes too. Like, I just want the money, and the anger, the frustration. I've been in that energy too, plenty of times. And you know what? It wasn't productive. I go through my emotions for a couple weeks, and then, you know, spirit will snap me out of it. I'll have a couple dreams. I'll have another experience of spirit reminding me that I am the money, right? How many of us are artists? How many of us have entrepreneurial spirits, right? Did you ask God to be your own boss? What did you ask for, right? Did you ask God to be your own boss? So maybe that job let you go so that you can go do it. Maybe this delay, maybe the space you have, right, in between jobs, that space you have in between jobs is time. Because why? When we're at work, when people who have jobs never have any time. Oh, there's all these things there's all these things I want to do, but I'll never have no time because I'm at work. I'll be doing double shifts. I want to do this, I want to do that. I've always wanted to start my own business, but I don't have enough time. I've always wanted to start my own business, but I don't have enough time. And then your pink slip came over and you said, what? You're laying me off. Why? Now, what happened? You just said you wanted more time. Time is money. Time is money. And to be frank, time is a more valuable commodity than money. When you lose money, you can get money. I always say this. You can get more money. When you lose money, you can get more money. When you lose time, you don't get that back. You can get more money. You can't get more time. And so lean into the time that you have. If you're in between jobs and you don't have any money right now, or if maybe you got the job but you only got part-time, it's God giving you time. What does God give you time for? What is God giving you time to do? What did you need that time for? Do you need to meditate more? Do you need to study more? Joy is an inside job, right? Joy is an inside job. There's a difference between these words mean similar things but aren't exactly the same. I feel like we use happy, joy, and content. I feel like we use these words interchangeably like they mean the same thing. They don't. I have joy. I don't have contentment. It's a difference. No, I'm not content with my life circumstance. And I've noticed people, they read my ability to smile and have fun anyway as being content with being broke. No, that's not the same. No. I'm broke. I'm broke either way. I'm broke today, whether I decided to be depressed about it or not. I'm sad. But that didn't. I was depressed for a really long time, and you know what? It didn't do nothing for me. It didn't do no more or less than the joy did. If you want to be real technical about it, I could be broke and depressed. I've been broke and depressed. I didn't like depression. That wasn't fun. Right? Again, joy is an inside job. Joy is an inside job. Joy comes from inside you. I see, I often, when ambulances come by, like, during these moments, I feel like that's like confirmation. Like, we say the thing, Z. Joy is an inside job. Joy and peace is not dependent on your outside circumstance, y'all. I mean, again, like I said, if this doesn't resonate with you, then you're on the wrong channel. That is okay. Joy is inside. So I have joy. I have joy. It feels good when you know what depression is, and then you know you're not depressed anymore. When you was very dissociated, and you know you're not dissociated anymore. When you feel the feeling of finally occupying your body, that feels good. If nothing else. And like I said, that's really what we come here for. Everything else is just stuff. Everything else is just stuff that you can't take with you anyway. Can't take it with you. And like I said, I'm broke today, right? I'm broke today, whether I choose to be depressed about it or not. So it's like, well, what else could I do with this time? What could I do with this time? How can I enjoy this time anyway? And then, again, like, I get it. You know, I'm lucky enough to live in a city. I'm lucky enough to live in a major city where there are a lot of free and cheap activities. There's things. There's you know. That's why I love parks and beaches, because there are free things to do. But, you know, we have block parties, right? There's fairs and festivals. Like, there's stuff. And I'm using this time to create. I haven't shown off everything yet. You know, I'm working on getting out of my head about that, actually sharing what I've been creating, but I'm a creative person. And you know what that also means? That means I am the money, right? So maybe this is God's invitation to say, hey, you can create it. Create something. Express. This is why I went ahead and started doing this vlog, right? I went to start this vlog like 4 years ago. I started and I got a job, and then I didn't have a job, then I got another job, and right? I was DJing, and then I wasn't DJing, and I kept skirting. You know, God gave me an instruction. Hey, start sharing your story, start sharing these things that you've learned, start sharing your life a little bit. Right? And I kept putting that idea to the side while at the same time complaining about not having no money. Maybe I'm, you know, again, being in my logical mind, I'm like, what are the odds that I go viral? Maybe I don't go viral. I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe God has a plan, right? What's Drake's song? God's plan. It's God's plan. God is like, hey, you ain't never had a problem doing what I said before. Right? And so here I am, stepping out on faith. Because why not? I got nothing else. I have I think I have like $1.25 in my pocket right now. That's what I got. And this phone. And my voice. Right? Thank God. I have 2 legs, I have 2 arms, I have 2 hands, I have 2 feet, I have 2 ears, I have a mouth, I have a clear mind. I'm very rich. I'm very wealthy in that way. I'm very abundant in that way. Right? I have a ton of ideas. I just haven't been implementing them. It's like, hey, you are a wealth of ideas. Are you an ideas person? You have all these ideas, and you're just sitting there and waiting for a job? When you got ideas, and then maybe you do get the job later. Maybe you'd be surprised sometimes if you go ahead and like start the idea, start the business plan, at least start, then maybe there is a job. Because now you can use that job to fund the idea, because at least now you started the idea, you got the ball rolling, right? Maybe you surprise yourself and maybe your channel goes viral. Maybe your song goes viral. Maybe the painting you thought nobody cared about sells for $1 million. Where's your faith? Right? I have a lot of faith because I've seen too much, right? I've seen too much now to not have faith. So it's that. So yeah, like I said, all is forgiven. All is forgiven and all will be forgiven because I've pre-decided. I pre-decided, and guess what? No one's the exception. It doesn't matter. I've pre-decided. You won't trauma bond to me. That's for sure. And I'll leave y'all with this note. Here's a random thing. Here's the last random thing for the logical people, especially. Do you know, it's so crazy. It's a crazy notion. Do you know that if you were to sell all your sellable body parts, and this is Googleable, if you were to sell all your sellable body parts, you'd have about $3 million. If you could sell your eyeballs, your skin, your tongue, I don't know, maybe, do people have an implant a tongue? I don't know. Sell your ears, you can sell your legs. If you could sell, why do you think organ harvesting is such a huge thing? You know, that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But I'm just saying, right? If you could sell all your sellable body parts, you have approximately $3 million. You know what that means? That means you're worth $3 million with nothing in your pocket. So I walk around like I'm already worth $3 million because I am. And so are you. Maybe, you know, if you're missing a leg, maybe it's a little less. That's okay. It's still a lot. The rest of the, you know, it's still a lot. Right? If you got one good leg, got one good arm, you still got something. Right? Make it work. Make it work. Alright, so again. Alright, that's it. I don't know what else to say. Thank y'all. Have a great one. Enjoy Libra season, y'all. I'll be back though. Later.